Hey everyone, I'm Chef Tom, and welcome to part 9 of the 65816 ATX project, or as I like to call it, Project Neon Sunrise. Today I have version 1 of our 65816 board on a micro ATX form factor. Let's take a look at how we got there.
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Tom, and I am a retro computer hobbyist. I am by no means an expert in this. I barely know how to solder some days. But welcome to episode 9 of my 65816 ATX project. I'm calling this one Hot Chips and Dips for reasons that will be blatantly apparent by the time we get to the end of the episode. Our goals for this week are to populate our PCB, first with sockets and passive components, and then we'll put our chips in. But before we can put our programmable logic in, we will need to, program our programmable logic. And that means taking our diagrams we've made in digital and turning them into JDEC files and hopefully burning them very easily into our chips. I have not tried this yet. I am not sure how well this is going to go. After that, we'll take one of the EEPROMs and reburn it with the old Hello World 6502 program from the Ben Eater series, because we have left the memory mapping and everything else the same, and the 65816 boots up into 6502 emulation mode. So it should just work right out of the box. And finally, we'll do some more exhaustive testing of the computer. So let's head over to the bench and get started. I started by gathering up all the sockets, headers, and unique components according to the bill of materials that I was going to need, and just got started soldering. I wasn't paying attention and mounted the +5 and ground headers at a slight angle, and debated for about a minute whether or not I should fix it, and then realized it wasn't really going to change anything, so I left it alone. Even though I don't need them right now, I went ahead and installed the expansion headers, especially since my card slots weren't going to work, so this gives me some way to access the address and data bus and the control lines. I'm not going to do a socket for the diagnostic LEDs, but I'm not sure which way they go right now, so I'm just going to hold off for a minute. In fact, I'm just going to hold off on all the LEDs for a minute. I got about as far as I could get with the sockets. I will definitely need to order some more, but this seems like a good time to install all the 0.01 microfarad capacitors. And since I have them, I can install the resistor packs now. This is as far as I can get while I wait for the order from Jimco to arrive.
3 days later.
Well, we've already started bending pins to make things fit, but don't think this one's going to bend as nicely as I'd like it to. Okay, we've wedged that in there, hopefully without doing too much damage. Another footprint to fix.
I have a pretty good selection of programmable logic I've collected, but I decided, for the sake of making this open to as many people as possible, to use 22v10s. They're still widely available and pretty common and easy to program on a standard programmer. And I've gone through how I came up with all this logic in a previous video, so I'll put a link to that in the description so you can see what I did to get where we're going. So I took those designs we had created before, and I'm now exporting them as JDEC files, and we'll see how easily they burn. These specific chips are Atmel 22v10Cs, so we'll just select that out of the list, load our JDEC file, and tell it to burn. Well, that worked just fine. I guess we'll do chip number 2. I was really worried that I was going to have to do something with WinCUPL, which I've never worked with, but the digital JDEC files seem to work perfectly, and it looks like I can skip that step completely.
Let's just start putting components in and seeing if anything breaks. One megahertz crystal. I had to hand solder you. There we go. Something's wrong with this chip. I did something wrong here. Oh. Put the chip on backwards. That should be pin 1, and that's the marker for pin 1. Mother trucker. Gotta do this all over again. Am I surprised that I screwed up something that involved surface mount soldering? Nope. Yeah. Okay.
2 hours later.
So after desoldering and resoldering my SMD to through-hole adapter for the delay lines, I poked around a little bit more just to make sure everything looks good now, and I think we're in a good place to put the chips on the board.
C16. Did I order the wrong thing? I think I ordered the wrong thing. CT30? Yep. Oh, these are HC14s, and I never opened this one. Yeah. Apparently I just ordered 14s and 16s, apparently. Okay, that's my 128K ROM, that's my video ROM. Not worried about those. Nope. All of a sudden you pull 2 amps again. Nope, it pulls 2 amps again. So something's very wrong. I was hoping I found it with this one being in backwards, but if we take the switch off. Nope. Okay. Now I guess we just go. Oh, you're not even in right. I think that's going to make a huge difference because that's the wrong. That's not. Nope. Alright. I guess we take every chip off and see what broke. I decided to take all the big chips off the board and just leave the logic on. That's hot. That's a hot chip. That's a hot chip. Which I'm pretty sure I dropped on the floor. So yeah, hot chip, right? I'm curious why that got so hot so fast. Drops to 0.1 amps with that chip out. Okay. The reset is still working, but it's being weird. Don't think I put it in the wrong way. It does. It gets hot as soon as I start plug it in. Bad chip. The only thing I can think is it's a bad chip. I've got more. I just bought a whole bunch of them. Same thing. So there's something wrong. Something very wrong. Something's very wrong here. I'm utterly at a loss. I'm going to go look at the schematic, and maybe I did the pull-up resistors wrong? I really don't know. Something's very wrong, and I have no idea what.
Alright, so next steps are to order 74 HC or HCT chips for the 4-input AND gate. Hopefully they exist. I just have LS on hand, and that's just an oversight on my part. And I found this while I was trying to figure out why everything was overheating. I apparently put the chip wrong way around in the diagram, which translated to the PCB, which translated into power and ground are reversed on that chip. So it has absolutely nothing to do with anything other than me being stupid. So I will have to do something creative, probably double stack sockets or something to get this to sit properly. That's all I got. I'll do that in the next episode because I've spent way too much time on this already. So there will be episode 9, part 2 probably, and then we'll get into episode 10 where we start doing some real fun stuff. So thanks for putting up with all of the issues I've run into with this board, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and press that subscribe button in the center of the screen. I've also got a couple other videos I think you might enjoy.